Since day one, Starfield has had a massive elephant in the room. Where are the actual aliens? And I don't mean another giant brainless space dinosaur you can farm for XP. I'm talking about a real intelligent spacefaring civilization. A species with its own language, technology, deep-rooted history, and factions. Maybe even a species with a very good reason to be completely terrified of humanity. Looking at the roadmap and where the lore is heading, I think Bethesda might have no choice but to finally pull that trigger. With them confirming that Starfield is continuing to get story updates and teasing more Starborn heavy content for 2027, this is the perfect window to flip the universe on its head. But today, let's break down exactly why Starfield's next massive expansion needs to be our first contact. When Starfield launched, Bethesda heavily pitched the fact that this was their first completely original universe in 25 years. We were promised a massive galaxy packed with hundreds of planets, deep lore, distinct factions, and weird religions, but they left a massive hole in the world building. Intelligent extraterrestrials. Humanity has colonized the stars, cracked the secrets of grav drives, and built sprawling metropolis-sized cities, yet we're functionally alone out there. Frankly, it feels a bit bizarre. It's not like the universe is dead. The settled systems are absolutely crawling with life. Terramorphs, Ashtar, giant predators, massive sea creatures, and whatever those floating mushroom things are. But none of them are building cities or hailing your shit. As far as we know, nobody else has looked up at the stars and decided to conquer them. And that blank space on the canvas is exactly where things could get incredible. Picture booting up the 2027 expansion. Your ship picks up a faint distress beacon. A standard BGS quest hook, right? You assume it's another spacer trap or a stranded settler. You touch down, but the architecture is completely wrong. The tech is incomprehensible. Then you find a data drive. You haul it back to the lodge, and after weeks of the brightest minds at Constellation trying to decipher it, they finally crack the translation. Turns out, it wasn't a distress call, it was a threat. Do not step through the Unity. Just like that, the entire context of Starfield changes. The groundwork for this kind of narrative is already laid out. The Unity, the Starborn, parallel universes, this is high concept sci-fi that begs for a non-human perspective. We already know there are cosmic forces at play that humanity barely understands. So what happens when we find out we aren't the apex predators of the multiverse? What if another species cracked the Unity code millennia before Victor even dreamed up a grav drive? If they discovered a fundamental truth about the multiverse that humans are totally blind to, it would completely recontextualize what the Unity actually is. I definitely don't want a generic take me to your leader scenario. That's played out and frankly a little boring. The real hook would be a fundamental dangerous misunderstanding between us and them. Imagine discovering an ancient alien civilization that absolutely despises the Starborn. Not because these aliens are the bad guys, but because they've seen the Unity tear their own reality apart. Maybe they had their own version of the Starborn. Maybe their experiments with hopping dimensions wiped out their home world. Now they're stepping out of the shadows to stop humanity from making the exact same mistake. Suddenly you're caught in a massive moral grey area. Humanity wants to harness the technology. The aliens want it buried forever. And both sides genuinely believe they're saving the galaxy. The concept ties perfectly into the franchise's best, weirdest piece of lore, House Varuun and the Great Serpent. We spent years debating what the Serpent actually is. A hallucination from grav jumping? A localized myth? A Unity side effect. What if Jinan Varuun didn't see a god during his jumps, but a massive ancient non-human entity, something drifting between realities that humanity was never supposed to witness? Over generations, that terrifying encounter was twisted into fanatic religious dogma. Realizing that House Varuun has been worshipping an alien life form this entire time would be an all-time great Bethesda plot twist. Or take a different angle. What if they didn't come from another galaxy? What if they're locals? Think about all those uncharted systems and unexplained ancient structures scattered across the map. What if we stumble onto the ruins of a civilization that went dead silent right before humanity learned to walk? You explore their underground vaults, piece together their bizarre technology, and eventually uncover a terrifying truth. They didn't just die out. They hit the mute button on their entire species and went into hiding because something was hunting them. But my absolute favorite theory, the aliens are hiding from us. We naturally assume that any intelligent alien race would be far more advanced and dominant. But look at humanity's track record. In Starfield, we colonized the stars, cracked multiverse travel, built planet-glassing weapons, and immediately fought bloody catastrophic wars over rocks and resources. If a highly advanced, peaceful species has been watching us from the cosmic bleachers, they're probably terrified. They know exactly what happens when a volatile, aggressive species gets its hands on god-tier technology, and they know humanity is a ticking fucking time bomb. Bethesda has specifically teased that the game will receive major Starborn-focused content in 2027. Tying that to a first contact scenario makes complete sense. The Starborn are already the game's biggest question mark. Who actually built the Armillinary? I can never pronounce that right. Who crafted those temples? Are humans really the first to use them, or just the latest in a long line of cosmic tourists? Finding out that a Starborn has been locked in a shadow war with an ancient alien race this whole time wouldn't just be a cool DLC. It would reveal an entire hidden history of the galaxy that humanity was entirely excluded from. Obviously, this is all speculation right now. I don't have a Bethesda insider feeding me leaks, so don't take this as confirmed news. But Bethesda has made it clear they plan to support Starfield for a long time. If they want to keep people playing for a decade the way they did with Skyrim, they eventually need to answer the biggest question in sci-fi. Are we alone? We don't need another human faction, we don't need another Crimson Fleet knockoff or greedy megacorp. We need something completely alien, something that forces humanity to realize we aren't the center of the universe, and that maybe we never were supposed to find them. What do you guys think? Is a First Contact DLC exactly what Starfield needs, or does keeping humanity isolated make for a better, more grounded story? Drop your thoughts down in the comments, and hey, if Todd Howard actually announces an alien expansion at the next showcase, remember this video, because I fully plan on taking the credit for calling it. As always, thank you so much for giving me time of day. I genuinely do appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. There we are.
Must be a